Welcome to the auction preview video for the 21st of May auction at the Pavilion Gardens, Buxton, Derbyshire, with us at H&H Classics. In this sale we've got some 130 vehicles on offer and a fabulous cross-section of cars dating from pre-war through to more modern classics. To start are the cover cars. So the cover cars from the front and rear of the catalogue are the 1961 Chevrolet Corvette C1 and the 1960 Maserati 3500 GT. The Maserati, one of fewer than 2,000 coupes manufactured. The car has been comprehensively restored, so it had been cosmetically restored before entering into the current ownership, but since entering into the current ownership it has further received a full engine overhaul covering very minimal mileage since. It's one of the more desirable front disc brake cars and benefits from the later 5-speed manual gearbox. And I think you'll agree that fabulous touring 2+2 seater coupe coachwork well warrants its place on the cover of the catalogue. The other cover car is the Chevrolet Corvette C1. So again, a comprehensively restored example. This one arriving in the United Kingdom around 2008, and since its arrival in the United Kingdom, it has had some £86,000 worth of expenditures lavished upon it. A lot of this expenditure has been with specialists such as Corvette Kingdom, and it's also had a full restoration bodily by Ting Lang Restoration Centre, so another fabulous example, certainly worthy of its place on the catalogue cover. Included in the auction is the Loman collection. Now, this is a collection curated by the vendor over several years, which we're very privileged to be able to offer now. It's a collection built up of excellent examples of predominantly 50s, 60s and 70s classics, and one which will feature two E-types, a Bentley Open Tourer, a Healey Silverstone and some other Jaguars, to mention just a few. Of the cars that I would like to highlight particularly from the collection, some of my favourites is the 1953 Bentley R-Type Loman style Open Tourer. Now, this is a car built by Paul Forty. Paul Forty may be known to many of you as a very well-regarded Bentley builder and an aficionado in Bentley circles. Built in circa 2012, I think you'll agree the car is an extremely handsome special, which perfectly combines the vintage Bentley Le Mans coachwork with slightly more modern R-Type mechanicals, and including that 4-speed synchromesh gearbox. In the ownership of the vendor and in the collection ever since the build by Paul Forty, this is its first time on the open market, so a really exciting opportunity. Another of my favourites is the 1970 E-Type, so the Series 2 Coupe. A rare UK-supplied right-hand drive fixed-head coupe. It's a matching numbers car. It's been comprehensively restored with minimal mileage since the restoration, and I'm a real fan of the colour combination. So it's finished in white or cream with a really nice complementary red leather interior upholstery, and it's pleasingly the car's original colour scheme. Not only a fully restored example, it's benefiting from significant upgrades mechanically as well. And the vendor, who's well experienced in classics, notes it to be the best driving classic car he has ever had the privilege of driving. So one for somebody to get out in and enjoy on the open roads, hopefully very soon. And the final car from the collection, which I'd like to focus a little bit more on, is the 1966 Mercedes-Benz 250 SE Coupe. We see quite a few of these W111 coupes coming to market, and it's rare to see one that has such a fantastic history. So this is 51,000 miles across 6 owners. It's a right-hand drive UK car. It's got no ownership history from new. It's got its full history file. So it's got the original stamped service book, the pre-delivery inspection, some original sales literature. It's got the guarantee card. It's got numerous early service reports. The list goes on. So a truly fantastic history file with this car, and I think you'd agree, looking at the photos or coming to see us in Buxton and see the car, one that's condition mirrors the history file too. So another really excellent car from the Loman collection, and hopefully you can come and look at the 10 cars on offer from them at the auction next week. Here at H&H, we've always had a passion for pre-war cars, and this sale is no different, with a good mix of pre-war metal on offer. One of the cars from the pre-war contingent that I'd like to show to you is the 1933 Singer 9 Sports Coupe. A very pretty pre-war car and possibly VSCC eligible once inspected. It was a recent award winner at the Singer National Weekend in 2024. Comprehensively restored before then in around 2009, I think you'll agree it is a very, very attractively proportioned pre-war car and a rarity in coupe guise. Contrasting with something quite more sporty is the 1929 Ford Model A Woodtail Speedster, so a fabulously built vintage racing special. Completely bespoke, VSCC eligible, and with a hand-finished aluminium body in the sort of late 1920s timber-framed boat-tail rear style. It's a very, very nicely proportioned car, much like the Singer. Much as you would expect, having built by Toby Ballard of the Ford Model A Revival Company. And only a couple of years ago was last used in anger, being competed at the Race the Waves event in Bridlington. Another of the pre-war contingent is the 1934 Wooley Hornet Eustace Watkins Special. Now, this car entered into the vendor's ownership some 23 years ago and began restoration basically straight away from that time, having been purchased as a box of bits and a chassis. The restoration has just been completed and the car has not yet been run in. So this is a box freshly restored pre-war car, and it's been finished to a really nice standard. And over £25,000 are estimated to have been spent on the restoration in parts and specialist services alone, not including the vendor's labour. So that's the top estimate of the car in parts and specialist services alone. Benefiting from being 6 cylinders, these are desirable post-vintage sports cars, and this is certainly one finished in its original but striking colour combination that catches the eye. The final pre-war car which I'd like to highlight is the 1923 Wolseley 10 E3 4-seater Tourer. Now, this is one of just 4 surviving examples as confirmed by the Wolseley Register and has been entered from long-term ownership since before the turn of the century. It's a nicely presented car with full weather gear and has previously been a competitor on rallies and tours such as the Gordon Bennett Irish Classic Car Run, the Rotary Convention Tour and the Weaver Wanderer. So if rarity is what you're after, then that Wolseley is certainly one to consider. We also have a real mix of no reserve cars. So moving into the more modern classics, one which I'd like to highlight is the 2000 Jaguar S-Type. A 3-litre V6 car with SE spec. It's not only low mileage with 42,000 miles, but it's also one owner from new. And it's got a stamped service book with service entries up to just 500 miles ago. Looking resplendent in sea frost green, the consignor notes that the headlining, which are known to be troublesome of these, is still in place. And it's temptingly offered, as I mentioned, without reserve, so will sell on the day to the highest bidder. Another car without reserve that we'd like to highlight is the Dameler DS420 limousine. So, often overlooked these as classics, this car has a fantastic history. So, understood to have been in the ownership of the Mayor of Stratford for many years, it was reputedly previously used by both Princess Anne and Princess Diana during royal visits to the town. Offered as a barn find, the car will need recommissioning, but not only the DS420 offered is included in the sale, but also a donor vehicle to be able to get this car back on the road. Finally, the Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint Veloce is another one of the no reserve offerings that I'd like to highlight. So this example is from 1967. It's a right-hand drive car converted for historic rallying. and is a veteran of numerous events and the winner of the Land's End to John O'Groat's reliability and touring trial previously. Again, needing recommissioning, I'm sure this will appeal to many who will want to use the Alfa Romeo in anger once again. The final section of cars which I'd like to highlight is vehicles with either low mileage or from low production numbers. And one such classic is the Lotus Aspree. Now, not just any old Lotus Aspree to fall into this category. This example that we have on offer is a 1989 Turbo 40th anniversary. Number 4 of just 40 UK cars built to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Aspree. There were 88 examples produced worldwide. Now, this one is finished in really nice, striking pearlescent white, extended to the wheels and door mirrors too, and it has the, and still retains the, pleasingly correct 40th anniversary interior. Every inch the 1980s supercar, and significantly rarer than other Lotus Asprees, this is certainly one to consider for people who like rarity or low production examples. In the low mileage category, one car which I'd like to highlight is the Bentley Azure. Now, this is a 1997 example, and it's come from 2 ownerships from new. So it was first supplied to a Malaysian gentleman who was a resident of London, and it was ordered new by him, being kept in London during his ownership. Finished similarly to the Lotus in Arctic white, it has contrasting black interior, black piano fascias, and a black mohair hood. In the second ownership, it has been maintained regardless of cost by RR&B garages, specialists of the mark. It has just under 11,000 miles from new, so a significantly low mileage example, and presents as you would expect for such a low mileage vehicle. Offered with documented service history, it really is a fantastic example for anybody looking for a notably nice Azure or open Bentley Tourer. Another low mileage and low ownership example, which I'd like to highlight, is the 1988 Porsche 911 Carrera 3.2 Sport. With just 38,000 miles from new, the car is a highly sought after UK supplied sport model with the preferable G50 manual transmission, so the later gearbox. It was bought by the late vendor in 1991 with just one previous owner, and at this time it had covered some 32,000 miles from new. Mollycoddled during the vendor's ownership, it's covered a mere 6,000 miles in his subsequent 35 year ownership. A notably nice example and highly original. Similarly good examples are few and far between in the market. And it's sadly only coming to market now due to the vendor's passing. So one which would have stayed in his ownership for many, many more years to come, I'm sure. Offered with the stamped original service book. It's a sport model from new, so it was specified with the full sport pack from factory. A Porsche model which is becoming increasingly sought after. It is surely one of the finest surviving examples of the 3.2 Sport in the market today. The final car which I would like to highlight is the MGB Roadster LE. The commemorative model built to commemorate the decision to end the production of the long-established and well-respected MGB. It was a limited edition of just 1,000 cars, so 420 Roadsters and 580 GTs. This example is surely one of the best LE Roadsters left. Former trophy winning, low mileage with just 25,000 miles from new. It was retained by its first and second keepers for some 33 years. So again, documented long-term ownership and low mileage. It is catalogued by a consignor as being in showroom condition, and therefore certainly ticks the boxes in terms of low mileage, low ownership, and being a low production example. So we're open on the viewing day, Tuesday the 20th of May from midday. And we'll be open on the auction day, Wednesday the 21st of May from 9 AM, with the auction commencing from midday. If you can't make it, but you're interested in one of the cars, then please get in contact with one of the team. You can do this via sales@h&h.co.uk, or you can call us on 01925 210035. Fortunately, the weather forecast is looking positive for next week. This hot spell is looking like it will continue for our trip to the Peak District. So we hope to see many of you in person next week very, very soon. Thank you.